is for you.
Remember the name.
Sports Talk Zone. Welcome back. I'm Ranaja.
This is Mikhail.
And this is another week of Sports Talk Zone where sports is life. Today's episode is brought to you by Brina Boutique. For all your fitness apparels and gym accessories in all sizes, contact Brina Boutique on Instagram at Brina_Boutique876. This week we want to start off with the World Cup qualifier game of Jamaica versus Mexico. Jamaica went up 1-0 but ended up falling 2-1 in the end. How did you see that game with the new coach and I guess new system?
Jamaica versus Mexico. What a game. Jamaica surprisingly going up 1-0 initially, and I was there sitting watching the game and just crossing my 10 fingers and my 10 toes and say, can we pull it off? I was hoping, and when I see it's getting closer to the end, but then as you would have always said, the moment you score and you start to defend, it's a bad tactic because you're going to soak up pressure. But for Jamaica in this game, that's what they had to do because they were playing with 10 men. And I guess they didn't want to leave themselves exposed. But soaking up all that pressure, I just knew it was inevitable for Mexico to actually score because it was very obvious. They were just coming because when Jamaica even get the ball and there's like nobody to break, nobody to pass, they're basically just kicking the ball back to Mexico. And Mexico just coming back at us. And as I say, eventually they found the equalizer and in quick time they found the winner. And it was just, here goes the World Cup. Oh yeah. My gosh, it was hard.
Yeah, pretty much that's what happened. We went down to 10 men just before halftime, and I was okay with us defending because 10 men, most likely we're not the better team. The right approach to see if we could get something out of the game. We eventually went up 1-0. Was very, very happy. I was thinking that eventually we can just hold on to this lead and get to the promised land. But as usual, couldn't make it happen. And guess what? I'm not gonna blame the team. I'm not gonna blame the coach. I'm not gonna blame anyone that is actually out there on the pitch for the reason why Jamaica lost that game. You know who I'm going to blame?
Who?
The government of Jamaica. They are the ones I am going to blame. This is why. The last time we played at the National Stadium against the USA, you would agree that that was our best game played through the entire competition so far.
I would say so, yes.
And what did that game have that none of our other games at the stadium have?
That game had fans, the rest didn't.
Exactly. And if we are in a moment where we definitely need to get these 3 points and find a way to qualify, why would you stop the fans from coming into the stadium? Why would you do that? Why you wouldn't give the team all the support they can get in order to win the game? You need that 12 man, you need that energy. A lot of time players feed off the crowd.
Funny enough, you should say that there was an interview with Damian Lowe, and that was the exact thing that he said. He said if fans were in the stadium tonight, there's possibility that they felt that Jamaica would have won this game.
Yes, why are we playing the game without any fans? Everywhere else, they are playing with their fans. Why are we the only place playing with our fans? We are at a disadvantage and we are not the best team, right? We need as much support as possible. Fans should be in the stadium. It's that simple. And understand, if you have worry about coronavirus and all of these, all right, only vaccinated people, cool. But there should be fans. And the lack of fans, I personally believe, is a factor in the reason why we lose that game. Not just because Mexico is better than us, not because we went down to 10 men, but the fact that the guys didn't have that 12 man behind them to keep supporting them, and when they defend well to make that noise and, give them the confidence to keep on doing better. So I am not going to be too tough on the team for that loss. The government need to hold that one. All right, let's jump into the Panama versus Jamaica game that played earlier today. Panama beat Jamaica 3-2. Jamaica went up in the first 10 minutes of the game, 1-0 through a Mikel Antonio penalty, but end up losing 3-2. What is your thought on that?
I guess we can't say it's official. No World Cup. It looked like Panama have our ticket because each time we play against Panama, we get our biggest defeat. Even though the game ended 3-2, at one point it was 3-1, and it's just basically
The second goal, I don't want to call it a consolation goal, but it was kind of meaningless, to be honest.
Yeah, something of that sort. So I don't know. The Panamanians just have our tickets because Mexico is superior to Panama, I would say. USA is superior to Panama, and we give these teams a better run for their money versus when we're playing against Panama. And I don't know what is it. There was even a change up in the lineup that they used today versus the game that they just played versus Mexico the other day. And I don't understand why, because it's not like the team actually even played bad. And I'm not talking with the red card defense. They changed some attacking. Bobby Reed came into the side, and I have my views on it, but
you don't rate the Bobby Reed, me G?
You see, based on even what happened in the USA game, clear in front of goal, and
that's it.
I don't know. It's just like some players, as I said, when they play for their clubs, I don't know if the other players around them make them look good or what. Or it's just that we're not good enough to help them bring out the best in them. But Panama, they look like they stand the table now, because I'm looking at the table.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be
going to the World Cup.
I think the 4 teams that will have the chance of qualifying for World Cup is already selected. It'll be Canada, USA, Mexico, Panama. I don't know the 4th spot gonna go, as in if it's gonna be Mexico or Panama or whoever, but those are the 4 teams that's gonna be there. So all hopes is lost for Jamaica, as I can see right now.
Yeah, man, it's over mathematically. But then, funny enough, I'm looking at the table. Jamaica should not be 7th. We're 7th. After 10 matches, we have only got 7 points. And the squad that we have is not a reflection. Exactly.
Tapa, where you at, man? We need to react.
And it goes right back to when I said the team was just gelling right after that US game. Things were coming together. Bam. Why bother fire the coach then? Just let him finish out the campaign.
All right. I don't know why they did that. You have some people out here calling for the firing of the coach. Like the team just gelling and you're calling for the firing of the coach. You know? They create podcasts and talk all sort of madness. And see, no better. No better. All right, let's jump into some cricket. West Indies defeated England in their 5-game T20 series, beating England 3-2. Man of the series, Jason Holder took 15 wickets. Nicholas Puran made 164 runs with an average of 41. What did you think of that series? And before we go further, remember, I had promised you that West Indies was going to win this series. Just put that out there. Okay, give me your thoughts now.
Yes, I was gonna say it. I must commend you for saying that. Yes, West Indies will win this series. I didn't believe that would have happened, but yes, West Indies proved me wrong, at least. Because a lot of time I always wonder, West Indies are Reggae Boyz, who's more for disappointment. But congrats to the West Indies. And funny enough, look at that. The player of the series, as we have always been said, the best player in the West Indies, Jason Holder, the man who plays all 3 formats and does relatively well in all 3 formats. And this goes to show the quality of player that he is. But there were some highlights, some things to look forward to, like Brandon King. Kyle Myers did impressive. I remember when I said that you should play the shorter version.
I ain't lying. You did say that.
Yeah, and I think that even probably Jermaine Blackwood, give him a run in probably the 50 overs, he will. But
you did say that.
And funny enough, Ravman as well was also a standout.
And remember, we were doubting him. Don't forget that.
Well, who wouldn't? Any reasonable, rational thinking person would think that.
True, but just prove us wrong in those last 3 games.
Yes, the side is looking good, beating the number 1 team in the world. So hats off to the West Indies. What was your take on the series?
What I'll say was exceptional performance by the West Indies. I always say to you, when it comes at least to T20, we are capable of playing with the best teams in the world. What we lack is consistency, and that kind of shows in this series also. Because I think the 4th game, we should have won that. But again, inconsistent, we end up losing that game. And I told you, I like the mixture of experienced players and the younger players who are not so experienced. And we might not need some of the guys that we normally think we need to win games in T20 anymore, because you have so many talented young players coming up now. The Romario Shepherd, the Odin Smith. You can even though he didn't perform, Fabian Allen, you can throw him in there too. Brandon King is showing that he can become a capable opener in the T20 format. So again, Puran, my favorite player in the West Indies team. I think the West Indies perform on most occasions on a very top level, because even the second game that we lost by a 1 run, that show you the resilience of the team. Because at one point you could probably think that we were totally out of the game, and a superb innings by Akil Hussain and Romario Shepherd brought us within 1 run, and some people would even say that we should have won that game based off the wide that was bowling that over and the umpire didn't call it. So I'm saying, so I think the team did exceptionally well, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in India and see how they actually perform outside of West Indies against a top team. And even though India is going through a little, a little slump right now, I would still want to see how we are going to perform against them. That is my bar for West Indies. How well do we perform outside of West Indies against quality opponents? And that series will tell.
We don't normally do well.
That's why I said I need to see, because I'm very impressed with how we played in this series. Everyone pulled their own weight. JC Older again showing that he's actually the best player that we have in the Caribbean as far as cricket is concerned. Cottrell also was a very decent bowler for us in this series also, and I'm very proud of how we performed. I must say that. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's rumors that there is a rift in the West Indies team between Captain Karan Pollard and all-rounder Odin Smith. Hence the reason why he was dropped in the 3rd and 4th T20 games. What is your knowledge on what's happening there?
The West Indies Cricket Board have denied the report of rift within the team, but sources have come out and stated, yes, it was very obvious, because even the game prior to being dropped, Odin Smith is an all-rounder, more of a bowling all-rounder, and did not even bowl one single over in the game. And he was wondering why not, if he's there to bowl and you're not bowling him, what is the purpose? And then now Pollard can look like a genius, because he actually dropped him and the person who he brought in made 100. So if he had failed, then we could have said, yes, see? But funny enough, he can say, no, it was just a calculated risk that I knew would have paid off, because it is. But it is alleged that some personal issues between both of them, as it relates to even who should be Odin Smith's manager or agent and stuff of that nature. But it doesn't look good. There was alleged to be a meeting that was to be called to settle all this. I guess it was, or something happened. We didn't hear anything come back out, but he was all of a sudden back in the team. How convenient. So basically that's what I have to say.
I was surprised that he was back in the team based off all the circulation of rumors that was going around that Pollard had an issue with him. But that is kind of a weird thing where you have an issue with a person based off who should be his manager or agent or whatever that's supposed to be. I don't understand that, you know. It's a very weird thing to me. I don't understand. But eventually, you know, more information will come forward and you really hear if there was really something going wrong between both of them, or if it was just, you know, a regular misunderstanding that teammates can have from time to time and it was blown out of proportion. These things happen. So we'll see in due time. Okay, let's move into some basketball now. The All-Star starters have been selected. For the East, it is Giannis Antetokounmpo, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Trae Young. And for the West, it is Stephon Curry, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Ja Morant, Andrew Wiggins. People are saying that Andrew Wiggins isn't deserving of his spot. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I was gonna say he is the only person on this list that I was actually surprised about. But then again, to look at his numbers and what he has been doing so far with the Golden State, he's playing pretty well. I guess he's not a household name that person would have expected to say, one of those franchise type player. But it's his first All-Star starter selection. Congrats to him. But there was a thing that I was looking at with all these starters. You realize LeBron is like 18th All-Star selection, then it is followed by Kevin Durant with 11, and the rest of them are single-digit starters, or relatively, on. I think this is Trae Young second, Wiggins first, Ja Morant first, Jokic fifth. So the league is changing. These are the futures. Yeah.
Passing off the baton. Normally, you'd have seen maybe a Russell Westbrook, a James Harden. Some people are arguing that even Trae Young spot should be questioned. When with the likes of Harden and Zach LaVine, people are saying that there's a possibility that those guys should have gotten the nod over him.
Not for Trae Young. Trae Young's playing excellent. I think he's averaging some high 20s. 25. Exactly. He's playing good. He's the go-to man on his team.
Team is bottom of the East.
What an individual does has nothing to do with the team. Keep on telling you.
Do you realize that everyone on this starting list, with the exception of LeBron and Trae, their team is actually in the top 6 in their conference?
Yeah, because normally, as you would say, good performance should lead to winning, and I guess these are why. But I believe, look at the Phoenix Suns. No player from the Suns, and the Suns are second in the West. So look at that. No Chris Paul, no Devin Booker.
So you think anyone has been snubbed?
Yes, I said I would think Booker, because even Booker for Ja Morant. That's personally
Booker for Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Ja Morant is playing out his mind, bro. What are you talking about?
But then who else from the West could you move? Because I think Booker should be there.
Not over Ja Morant.
So who would you take out? I can't be Steph Curry.
That's what I'm saying. I never said anyone was snubbed. I was asking you. You say yeah.
So you don't think Booker should be there since you place so much emphasis on winning?
Over Ja Morant?
Second.
But Ja Morant is winning.
No, I'm not.
Ja Morant is in 4th.
No, but he's second.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Here you know.
No, that doesn't matter. It's not like he's on a losing team.
But a team is doing better than him, and he's the person causing that team to do better. So don't you think he should be a starter? Yes or no?
Not over Ja Morant. He can be a
I didn't say that.
If he played in the East, then cool. But not over Ja Morant. No.
Okay.
Ja Morant is playing better than every single point guard in the league right now. Think about it.
Some pretty good. He's playing some pretty good basketball.
Name a point guard. He's playing better than them.
Not gonna deny, but I just think Devin Booker or somebody from the Phoenix Suns, who is the second best team, should have been there.
I think Zach LaVine should have started over Trae Young. That's the only thing I would change.
And funny enough, nobody from your team, Miami, who was actually playing well, was even selected in the starter.
Well, there is an explanation for that. The thing is, the Miami team has went through so many injuries. So Butler, all these guys, they haven't really played much games to really get into the starting lineup. You feel me? So
I see.
And next thing, I really don't care if my guys make it in the starting lineup or all-star and all of these things. Well, they care. The players will care, but I personally don't care. What I care about is when it come down to playoff time and they take care of business. That's it.
Ain't making it to the finals. That's we know for sure.
We'll see. Miami Heat, remember I stated it, will win the East. That's it. I have nothing else to say. And that concluded for another week of Sports Dog Zone. You can check us out on all streaming platforms and also on Instagram at Sports Dog Zone 876.